It's time to gather up Gotchard once more. It's episode 29 we're talking about. Last time we had some major spoopums. So what's gonna happen this go around? We catch up. We heard a scream last episode. Turns out the dude who screamed got buried upside down and kind of stripped naked. Weirdly enough, there's a yokai thing somewhere in there. I don't know what it is right now, but they're going like, all right, cool. There's a big mystery we got to solve, right? And Kajiki's just immediately like, oh, hey, okay. So there's a weird supernatural mystery going on, and he points to his the con man and goes like, hey, all this stuff started happening when you showed up, and all the villagers are like, yeah, he's right. It all started when you guys showed up. And Gachiki's immediately like, whoa, no, I'm the detective. I'm the detective guy. I'm the guy solving the crime. And they're just like, let's lock him up for a bit. And it's just a hilarious bit while the actual people with a brain cell, Ringe, and Hotaro are going like, alright, they're busy and somewhat safe. Rine, keep an eye on them. Us two will go deal with some things and try to figure it out. And we have a cute moment where Rine talks to Ringe's grandmother, and she's just like, oh, she was a little bit of a crybaby as a kid, and I always like took care of her, and she's growing up so fast, like all that kind of like all heartsy, smolchy stuff, right? Rine finds another person who is scared stiff, scared silly, and calls them down. They're just going like, okay, so it's definitely not those two guys. We need to figure things out. They go check up on those two guys. They're also scared stiff, and we have one of my favorite comedy bits this entire episode, because Rine's been going up to all these people who are scared statues and checking their pulse and going like, alright, it's okay, they're alive, they're just unconscious, right? They're alive, they're just unconscious. They're alive. And then finally they get to Kajiki, and Hotaro is just apoplectic. He is like crying like his best friend just died, and Rine just keeps going like, Hotaro, he's not dead. He's just unconscious. And Hotaro's is just like, ah! It's a really good bit. It's just a really good solid comedy bit. But everyone's trying to find some information when, apropos, Rine follows her. They're in the big spooky-like tunnel that you see in J-horror. Not the tunnel, but a tunnel like you would see in J-horror. And they have a little conversation. Rine's just like, Grayon's dead. What the fuck are you doing? And she's like, I'm a mysterious little girl. I have plans and machinations. You don't know what's going on. And Rine's just like, okay, sure, but we're heroes. We can beat you. And it's just like, oh, it's a funny moment. And then the amalgam of the episode pops down and goes like, hi, what's up? I'm Spooky. And it's like, oh shit, he is spooky. He's also Foxy. Fox Spookums. Hotaro's there though to start the fight with the creature. It's a fun little back and forth. He's very much Ghost in the preview movie, if you know what I mean. If you don't, a little history lesson. Drive's movie had a cameo of Ghost, and in that cameo, Ghost fought completely different than how he does in the show, where he's just floating everywhere and dodging everything, and it's really cool in the movie. Sad it never happened in the show, but what are you gonna do? But this nine-tailed fox, Malgum, is doing all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. It runs away. They're trying to find them. They're doing all that kind of jazz, and then Ringe goes like, wait a second, it's a fox? Okay, I have a theory. They go to the little shrine that we saw last episode, and Malcolm shows up. Hotaro henshins up. They have a little fight, and the rest of the crew, which is Ringe, and Ringe's grandmother, get put into a little darkness dimension where they have to play D&D and fight the Beholder. I know it's not a beholder. It is probably a yokai, but it's fun. And essentially, Rine can't transform because she doesn't have enough magical energy built back up. Ringe's grandmother tries to scare it off, but that doesn't work. And ultimately, Ringe herself has to fully submit her own courage to protect the things that she loves in order to defeat the creature with the power of alchemy and love. Meanwhile, Hotaro is just battling the nine-tailed Malgam. Words, they're difficult. The nine-tailed Malgam. When Rine goes like, wait a second, I have all those celestial kimmies, and she asks their help. They help her out, and they bust out of the dark dimension. She hands them over to Hotaro. Hotaro gets super powered up, and the Malgam stops moving. The Malgam just stands in one single place. It's just like, all right, hit me. And Hotaro's going like, oh, you're doing something. Something's okay. I see what you're doing. All right. So he does a rider kick, hits the wall because the Malgam moves out of the way just in time, drills in, and I'm trying to remember the exact order of operations. The Malgam disappears without being hit, and the Kimmy is put into a card, right? And then a giant torrent of a hot spring pops out, and Rine remembers, oh, wait a second, that guy's prophecy. It said, like, the gates of hell would open up and all these different little things, and they go, like, you know what? They do say hot springs are kind of hellish. And then Ringe's grandmother goes, like, wait a second, with this, we can build a hot spring and do tourism and get new people interested in the village. We don't have to sell anymore. And they all realize, wait a second, the guardian spirit of this village wanted to help protect it, so they used the power of the Kimmies in order to, like, get them to do the thing. Okay, that's fun. That's nice. It's heartwarming. It's all about empathy. Again, like we know with the show. But they're at the village. They're all saying their goodbyes. Kajuki and the con man are going, are finally, like, hammering down with, like, yo, what if we were, like, supernatural detectives? And the con man goes, like, so I could be, like, Sherlock Holmes? And Kajuki's like, and I can be Watson? And they're like, aha, I hope this gag continues. I want this to be a thing for the rest of the season. That will be fun. And there is a little callback with Ringe and her grandmother of Ringe offering the grandmother a ride on her back. She's not strong enough to do it, but they decide to walk side by side as equals because the grandmother recognizes Ringe's growth as a woman, and it's, you're not just a scared little kid anymore, you're an adult, and I'm proud of you, kind of thing. It's really nice, it's really sweet, it's really wholesome. This was a fun little side storyline thing. But again, it is tying into the major themes of the show with empathy and the Malgams and everything, right? Like, ultimately, the Kitsune village spirit just wanted to help out the village, wanted to give them something that, like, they could rebuild from, build up from, and not just have to abandon the place. Because, again, that was a major thing. But the land developers basically went, like, place haunted, we don't want no more. Which, you know, fair. Kajuki and the spirit guy were fun, that even though, like, they were kind of like con men, they still wanted to help, and that's fun to see. And I really do hope we get to see their dynamic some more. Please, we saw Kajuki in the next episode preview. Let this be a thing. Let it be a thing. I'm wishing with all of my heart. But yeah, no, these two episodes, okay, the best way I can explain it is it felt like a guest writer for an ongoing series. So if you're not big into American superhero comics, oftentimes a writer will have a long ongoing series, but if they need a break, editorial will get a guest writer for a couple issues to just kind of leave some pressure off the main writer so he can take a break, write ahead, do all these little things. And that's what this felt like. This felt like, hey, we're about to start some major things and I need a little bit of a break. Can you do a guest episode? It's like, yeah, sure. Not to say that this what made it bad or anything, or made it this filler. No, it just made it different. It was a different vibe. It was a different flavor. It turned left instead of right, and it was good. I loved the way that Kitsune Malcolm moved around. It was just like, oh, that was fun. That was cool. I loved its design. Its design was really good, and it all in all, it just made the action feel really special and unique to this episode. There's also, again, a lot of good gags. The statue gags were fun. Hotaro just being inconsolable while seeing Kajuki dead, but he's really just unconscious, and no one can just tell him he's not dead. He's just asleep. And it's just like, Kajuki. It's funny. I like that. I thought it was funny. And overall, this was a really good episode. You know what's also really good? Follow me on social media platforms. Go do that. You can also follow me here on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment down below. Tell me what you thought of this episode, and we can talk about it next video. But in the meantime, if you like videos like this and you want to see more, you can see me talking about Agito over on Patreon. Little as $1 a month, you get an extra video a week. And hey, by the way, the day this was released is April 3rd. My birthday is April 4th. So if you would like to help me out in any way in that kind of manner, I'm trying to raise funds for a new computer so I can make videos like this and bigger and badder videos much more easily, much more feasibly, and stream more, just be able to do more things for people who enjoy it like you. But in the meantime, we have some comments. I said it weird the first time, so I say it right the second time. First things first, from just some random guy. Yeah, I think a lot of people are just really happy that they didn't forget that Rine really likes horror and finds it really funny. And like I said in those episodes, like I said earlier, in earlier videos, Rine's totally one of those horror-loving autistic girlies, right? It's just a fun little detail, and I'm glad they kept it. Next up from Esconde. Yeah, with all the big, heavy-hitting stuff with Garon last arc, it's nice to just be able to, like, decompress a little bit. And you know, it's just like, nice, right? And Hotaro and the crew just having like a moment to breathe and just fix a small problem. And yeah, I like how Rine's character is kind of like a fun, consistent thing. She's not scared by horror. She finds it fun. She loves spoopy shit, but she gets overwhelmed by crowds and choices at a coffee shop. I think it's really cool. And yeah, Atropos just going full creepy little girl with an unknown goal. It's interesting, and I wonder where it will go. And finally, from Fish Pop. Yeah, we got the stock version of the Platinum Gotchard Henshin, but we also get Hopper 1 and Steamliner VAs doing part of the Gotcha and Go, you know, that bit. Which I think is fun. That's cute. That's really neat. And they're talking more. And it's just making me go like, yo, what if the final Henshin, all the chemis, like, actually talk to Hotaro and say, like, hey, thank you for actually treating us like beings. And just, like, encouraging him near the end game and going, like, you can do it, Hotaro. We believe in you. I just think that could be a really sweet and cool moment. But that is a little bit of fan canoning fan fiction. And this video is up. Hey, if you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. I really appreciate it. And until next time, I hope you have a good day. Big thank you to my Patreon supporters, Esconde and Scott Firestein.